Good morning and welcome to our video today from Yoker Evangelical Church. In our Bible readings this morning, we read 2 Samuel chapter 1 and 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And in this video this morning, I want to take a look at 1 Corinthians chapter 12 because of the question that I think it helps us answer. So this morning, I wonder what you think it means to be church. If somebody came up and asked you in the street, what does it mean to be church? What would your answer be? Paul wants, in this section of his letter, to put an image in our heads. Now, we will all have different pictures, I'm sure, of what it means to be church. Some of us, when we hear that word, will think it's a building with a steeple where a minister sits and delivers a boring talk. Some of us will think that church is community. Some of us will think church is family. It's where all my friends are. We will all have different pictures. But just look at the picture that Paul wants to put in our heads for what church is. So from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12. Just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we were all baptized by one Spirit so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. And so the body is not made up of one part, but of many. When we think of church, Paul wants us to think of a body, like a human body that we all have. He wants that to be our image of church. And his imagery is really clear that just as a body has many parts, it has eyes, a liver, armpits, and yet it's all one person. The church is made up of many different people. It'll be made up of Mary, John, and Mike, and yet it is one body together. And Paul's point here is that the church has unity because all these different people, though they are as different as an armpit is from a foot, they are all united. They are brought together in Christ. This is only made possible by Jesus. We are brought into his body because his own body was broken on the cross, because he gave himself up and sacrificed himself. And he did that not just to save us from hell, but to bring us into his body. And so what does that mean for us today? That Jesus died on the cross so that we could be brought into his body, along with many other parts, many other people into this body. Well, it means that this morning we are understood through Jesus. We are part of the body of which he is the head. You can't really understand any part of the body without looking at the whole, can you? If you just saw a foot and you knew nothing else about a body, the foot would tell you nothing. You can't separate the body in that way and still understand it. So we need to be understood through Jesus, who is the head of the body. But it also means that we are understood through the whole body. And the parts are all important to each other. Elsewhere in the chapter, Paul describes an ear, saying that it's not important because it's not an eye. But Paul wants us to see that all of us, if we're saved by Christ, are brought into this body together. And that the parts are all interdependent, that they need each other. It is a body that has been arranged by God. And it's a body that he has arranged with his wisdom, with his power. If this morning you know that you are saved by Christ, you are a precious part of that body, united to the rest of his body, the church. That is how we are understood. That is what Jesus saves us to. I hope you have a great day today, and God bless.